Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. Today's video, we're going to preview the Buckeye Marathon 2022. First, I'm going to tell you how and why I came to be here. Then I'm going to show a video of the route itself. And then I'm going to discuss what I think might happen during the race. I'm making this video because at the end of the Chicago Marathon, when you're tired and you think, why did I sign up for this? You get across the line, you drink some water, you have 15 minutes sleep, and then you wake up and you think, right, when's the next one? And so I signed up for this probably a bit sooner than I would like to have done a marathon, but it suits my work schedule. So I signed up for the Buckeye Marathon, and it's just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm going to try and explain why I did it and how I think I'm going to do. This is the beautiful Skyline National Park in Buckeye, Arizona. I came here to film the exterior shots, and then I also did a video of the route from the car. So we'll hop over there and look at the route in its entirety. The race starts here in a baseball facility outside of Buckeye, Arizona. It should be weather just like this. I filmed this at 10 o'clock in the morning, although the race starts at 8 o'clock. It's supposed to be about 8 degrees centigrade or 46 Fahrenheit at the start and rise to about 19 degrees centigrade or 62.2 Fahrenheit. So perfect running conditions. We run along these roads. I'm not sure which side of the roads we'll actually be running on, or indeed in the footpath, but we run along here. At this point in time, we're largely running through built-up areas, but most of the marathon is outside of built areas. Here, we're sort of going along. I think we turn left up here, and at this point in time, we're rising slightly. I think we go uphill slightly, and then it's slightly downhill for the remainder. But essentially, I think you fall 500 feet over the course of the marathon. This section of road, I think we're actually going to be running on the other side of the carriageway, but we're really running up here and then doubling back on ourselves. I suppose it's a way of getting the length exactly right to a marathon and get to the finish point exactly at Buckeye Airport. As I turn around here, I'm filming this in the car. I stopped here briefly to check the GoPro, and then we get going again. I don't imagine we'll be on the pass and inside in a little bit of shade, but it won't be too hot. It's actually, I think, perfect running conditions, which is one of the reasons why I chose to do the race. Now, I also chose to do the race for the sheer, you'll see it very shortly. There's a lot to see here, but for much of the race, there isn't. There's always stuff to see, but it's largely, the landscape will stay the same for a long period of time. And I know, watching this is sped up 5 times, and I'm in a car. So if you think this is long, the marathon's definitely going to feel long, because once we head out on this stretch of road, presumably running the hard shoulder, you'll see up ahead here, there a couple of times they're actually cleaning it. This is taken 2 days before the race, and they're cleaning the hard shoulder. But we're running in there, and this is what it looks like for a long piece of time. There's some road works. Somebody described it as like a Roadrunner cartoon. So yeah, it sort of is. And I deliberately chose this because I wanted to get better at running marathons. I wanted to get better at running a long distance where I simply had to concentrate on running. And what was happening outside was largely, I stopped here to check GoPro and just see what the surface was like. But I just wanted to see what it was like to sort of get myself used to just running where the end seemed very, very far away. This is only the start of the video for everybody who's watching. It's like this for a long way. In all my previous marathons, I sort of went out too fast. So I decided, before training started this marathon, I decided I was just going to run this one and go, head out slowly, and try and see if I could keep the same pace all along, or perhaps increase the pace towards the end. This was my initial plan, because every other race, even though I'd broken 4 hours in Chicago, I headed out way too fast and I paid for it in the second half. So with this particular race at the start, I wasn't really particularly concerned how fast I would do it in. I wanted to do it in around 4 hours, but I wanted to get better at running marathons. That's essentially what I'm trying to do, just improve my marathon running technique. Now, I know it's one foot in front of the other, just keep going. As you can see, just keep going down this highway. But that's what I was trying to do. Now, it turned out that there was about 11 or 12 weeks between Chicago and the start of a Buckeye Marathon, which is on January 8th, 2022, which, as this recorded is being made, is tomorrow. But I decided that I wanted to try and do 4 hours, but there was limited training. But Buckeye suited me in terms of the timing of my work schedule. So I decided to do the marathon. I was hoping to do it in 4 hours, but training didn't go well. And it was about 12 weeks. And about week 3 or 4, I got a bad knee injury. Well, I mean, I couldn't walk the following day, put it that way. It got really sore. I went out and I was really sore knee. I couldn't run for one of the weeks. A week and a half later, I was on the bicycle, indoor bike. I did that for about a couple of weeks. And then I had no hard running for 4 weeks. So I missed 7 weeks of quality training out of 12. So I had 5 weeks of training, but my fitness level was pretty high. And so, my estimation of this is if I can finish somewhere near 4 hours, I'll be very happy with myself. When I signed up for the marathon, I decided that my goal was to break a personal best, but I don't think any of that's going to happen. As always in marathons, you get to the start line. My knee feels pretty good, but I don't have huge confidence in it, and I haven't done a lot of speed work. I've had a couple of MRIs, but the results aren't back yet. So I'm waiting to see what happens. But I'm really just running this for the hell of it, the sheer enjoyment of running down this endless highway, just trying to think about whatever comes into my head, but not worrying about the running. Of course, one of the things is, and this is a strange part of the race, in that we suddenly divert off the highway into a housing estate. Now, I think it's called Tartesso, and they're the sponsors. I mean, the race is a small race, and there's about 300 people in the marathon. There's also a half marathon, I think a 10K, and various other races, all centered around Buckeye Airport. And we go through this housing gate. This is one of the few things, you don't see this very often in America, a roundabout. I don't know if they call them roundabouts. Anyway, it's a roundabout. And so we're going again through this housing estate, and you see the more of the greenery. And it's going to actually be a welcome break just to see something different along the way. At this point in time, I think we're about 10K from the finish, 5 or 6 miles. And again, down another, we essentially have zigzagged off the highway, and we're going to make a left down here and then head right back to the highway and then head down to the airport. The race starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I've done what I did in Chicago, which is to stick on Irish time. So as we speak, I think it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I've been waking up at 3 o'clock. That's perfect because I'll be up and ready for the marathon. And it also helps with eating. So I've kept the same eating plans and times as I would at home in Dublin. And I've brought the same food I did last time. I brought over my own coffee, and I've bought some Dave's Killer Bread, which I've been eating. And I brought some huel that John had suggested in the comments in the last marathon. So I've been getting some huel, some pasta, and nothing new or strange to eat. Very basic stuff. For the marathon itself, I'm going to have 6 Morton's gels. I don't particularly dislike Morton's, but they've worked brilliantly for me every marathon. I've also got the drink mix, so I'll have some of that tonight. So the preparations are pretty good. Apart from the bit lack of the training, everything else is really good. It was a huge worry coming over to in terms of the virus, but I managed to isolate for the last 2 weeks or something. So Christmas was simply a quiet affair. And all to do with this, to come down the final, just to finish straight as we run down towards the airport. I know when I finally get here, I'll be counting these poles and thinking, will this airfield ever come? And then all of a sudden you turn to the right and you run down here and you can see the planes up ahead. And there's the grandstand on the left. And yeah, Buckeye Marathon, here we come. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there and some rated videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.